Okay, here we are, Matthew Russell Lee, Inner City Press, here at the Southern District of New York Courthouse. Today, Tuesday, November 11th, 2025. Now, we have some legal news from yesterday. These involve, number one, on the Crypto Bros trial, the mistrial that we covered for 3 weeks until Friday. The mistrial came out and we put out the book, Crypto Bros Mistrial. Code is Law Lives On. Well, on Monday, the sides wrote in a joint letter. The government wants to put them back on trial in February, late February, and the brothers say you don't have to choose a date now, but if you do, it should be late April or after 2026. But that's it for now. We'll see. We'll see whether they actually proceed. There's also, in Congress, there's talk about the market structure bill. There's a lot of moving parts here, and whether DOJ, when the time comes, wants to go forward after the debacle of the mistrial, maybe they present it differently. I don't know. Okay, in other news, we're covering the Alexander brothers. It's a bit sleazy. There's 3 brothers. They're in the MDC. They wanted a lot of stuff sealed, and on Friday, I didn't actually report it at the time because I left it up to the judge. Put in a motion to unseal. Well, Judge Caproni, to her credit, docketed the motion and has said their bid to unseal is denied, and they have to rethink and unseal by Friday. So we'll see. We'll be reporting on that, but we put that up. We're reporting a lot on habeases. I'd mentioned it, but there's one in particular. There's a man from Ecuador. He was here and he lost most of his attempts to stay in the country. He's blind, though, and they picked him up last week and they've moved him to the Orange County Jail. Yesterday we covered it, and it emerged that he doesn't have his cane. They didn't give him his cane, they gave him a walker, which might seem fine, except it's one of those white canes, it seems. Tap, tap, tap to figure out where you're going. His son is in Delaney Hall in New Jersey. He's in Orange County Jail in Goshen, New York. There's some attempt to reunite them. He has a hearing on Thursday somewhere here in Lower Manhattan. It's unclear. And then there'll be an SDNY hearing that we'll cover. So we're covering that one. On the other hand, we've discovered some habeases that are a little, to me, they're either dubious or formulaic. So we're going to be reporting on those as well. That's how it goes. We've made the turn, and we're going to go financial. And here's what we'll say about the financial world. Yesterday, Fifth Third Bank. These guys are really some piece of work. They didn't respond for a month, and when they did respond, it was quite nasty. A guy called Calla Gibson, their EVP for corporate responsibility. I don't know how much he knows about the CRA, given his response. Well, we've responded, and we've also upped the ante. We probably wouldn't have done it otherwise, but took a closer look at the application, and it turns out that they need approvals, or at least they are notifying regulators in at least 5 states. So we've raised the issues to them. This is banks can choose how to respond. They can choose how to respond. There was a recent bank in the Midwest that said, you're right, we have disparities, here's what we're doing to try to receive them. That's one thing. When you try to go nasty, when your record doesn't justify it, this is a bank that made a huge screw-up loan to Tricolor. Maybe it's more than a screw-up. I don't know. I'm going to find out more about Fifth Third. I've just decided to do that. We're also on another level, very specific, very concrete. Toronto Dominion is a bank that's closing 51 branches. They already closed 36. Now they're closing 51. We've commented, and we'll see where that one goes. We're going to look into the specifics. 7 are in New York, but they're also in many other states. This is a bank that was actually, had a merger block because of money laundering. Not sure it's the right time to be shutting it all down, so we're checking it out. Meanwhile, on the United Nations front, we've had a whole series on South Sudan. And I bring that up because this morning, in a few short moments, there's a meeting of the Security Council inside the United Nations that we're banned from entering, despite having the best reports on South Sudan and other countries on South Sudan. And I think we're going to take a look at Funka Info on social media, on X, because we're going to be live tweeting the Security Council with the photographs we've received of the big shots, Tony's cronies, putting together double-wide trailers, taking 2 huge cars, while the locals get fired. And the government's turned against them, and nobody knows. They just go on speechifying. Well, that's a scam, and we're not also banning the press as a scam, and we're not going to put up with it. Here we are, Inner City Press going in. Watch this space.